I've put together a full lightweight wild camping setup for less than £500. Base weight for my setup is 6.4 kilos, so it is lightweight, not ultralight. To be ultralight, it needs to be less than 4.5 kilos, and to be classed as lightweight, it needs to be less than 6.8 kilos. I got that from Wikipedia, so it must be true. Now, you probably know I'm not a massive gram whore, but I wanted to set myself a bit of a challenge to find a lightweight setup for a reasonable cost, and I want to see what difference having a lighter pack and less stuff makes to a camp. So before I get unpacked and show you everything that I've got in this lightweight setup, I'll just tell you a little bit about the bag I'm using. So it's a NatureHike Rock Series 60 litre lightweight backpack. It's similar to the 3FUL Kedian bag that I tested a few weeks ago, but this one has got a frame inside it. Now, I will say I'm not doing a full review on this bag. This is the first time I've used it properly. I walked 3.5 miles to get here from home, so I've not done any great distance in it either, but I can tell you a couple of things that I've noticed straight away. So comfort wise, for me, first impressions, it's a lot comfier than the Kedian bag that I've tried before. It's got this lightweight frame that goes around the edge to give it some structure. The Kedian, you have to put a sleep mat in the back for your cushioning. The hip belt's really thick, really padded and comfortable, but I have noticed a couple of, not issues, but niggles with it. So the first thing is, it's not a problem with the bag, it's just how it fits me personally. The back here is 21 inches and my torso is only 19 inches, so when I've got the pack on secured around my hips, the straps are a little bit too high for me. They are all one size as well, so keep that in mind. If you do want to try one of these bags, measure your torso length, and if you're above 20 inches you should be okay. If you're less than that, you are going to have that issue with the straps being too high. You might have seen reviews as well on the Outdoor Gear Review where Luke, I think his name is, bangs on about this distance here, and I put a picture of the bag on my community tab a few weeks ago, and I've already had comments saying, oh, it's only 2 inches there and the strap's going to dig in your neck. Well, that distance there is just above 3 inches, and I measured the same distance on my Osprey Kestrel 48 and my Osprey Stratos 36, and they were both smaller than this one. So I don't know if I've got a newer version of this backpack than what the other guy had and that measurements changed, but I didn't have any problems with the strap digging into my neck or anything like that. So before I show you everything that I've got, just a quick disclaimer. I don't know what's happening with the weather at the minute, but it's April and it's due to get to -2 tonight. So on top of the 6.4 kilo base weight, for tonight I've added in my winter coat, my down boots, my merino layer and some thick gloves and a hat, just so that I don't die. So I've literally just tipped everything out. I'm not messing about. Let me show you everything that I've got. Lanshan 1 Pro tent with ground sheet and pegs, waterproof trousers and the hard trail waterproof coat, foil mat to put under my sleep mat. The sleep mat is the lightweight one from AliExpress. My money sleeping bag that you'll have seen in my previous video, 3FUL Gear body bag. That's my merino layer and hat and gloves and stuff. I almost forgot this. That's my little bag with tea bag, milk and sugar in it. Don't even know what's in this one. More spare clothes, dehydrated meal from Decathlon, some wine gums, because why not? Soya Mini water filter. I wrap that inside the bag that it comes with, put an elastic band around it. Got my cook kit, which is basically a titanium pot with a BRS titanium stove. My hygiene kit and my little Opinel number 6, I think it is. Nice little knife, nice and lightweight, just in case you need it for anything. So I'm just at a local spot where I've got permission to camp, which is pretty awesome. And you get views like that, coming up through the trees there. There is a small little fence here with a gate, and then I've got a little brook down here as well with a water source. Tent pegs just tried to kill me, and the sheep are suddenly starting to become interested in what I'm doing. So we'll keep an eye on them. Wouldn't be me, would it, if I didn't move my tent at least once on a wild camp. So I was over the other side of that brook there. The sheep, like I said, took interest, chased them off 2 or 3 times, and they just kept coming back. So I thought, instead of messing about, I'll just come over to this side of the brook. So I'm set up here now. quite nice over this side, to be fair. There's a load of wildflowers starting to come through over there, so I've found a spot that didn't have any. It's usually in the shade from this tree. So that's everything set up. Let me give you a tour. The sleep system I've got is my 3FUL Gear Tyvek body bag with my Fine Manny sleeping bag inside it. Then I've got my cheap inflatable mat from AliExpress. My rucksack I've just put at the head end up there. Then I've got a Highlander foil mat underneath. My filming stuff and my knives down there. Over that side I've got my thermals and stuff that I'll put on when I go to bed later. My hygiene kit, a buff. They're just my waterproofs and my Sawyer water filter. Then down this end, these are things that I'll probably need to put on later tonight. So my warm coat and a fleece and hat and gloves in there. And that's just all the bags that everything came in, just shoved into the corner down there. Well, I've got my food and water and stuff in the porch there. So that's everything I've brought with me. It'll be interesting to see what I miss. So I haven't got any sort of sit mat or anything like that. I haven't got a pillow, but the sleep mat's got a built-in, not a full pillow, but a raised bit. And I've got plenty of clothes that I can put in a dry bag and sort of make a pillow if I need one. I've not bought my table either, so sorry novice wild camper, but I thought I'd see if I can survive without it on this one. So that whole setup comes in at just less than £500, and that includes everything. Now I know £500 sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but if you've looked into lightweight gear or ultralight gear yourself, you'll know that as the weight comes down, the price just gets stupid. So £500 for a setup that's less than 6.4 kilos, I think is pretty reasonable. So it's going to get to -2 tonight, so that's going to be interesting. I could have swapped the sleeping bag out for my Leviathan down bag, the OEX Leviathan, but where's the fun in that? So let me just show you the cook kit that I put together. So I've managed to fit everything in this bag that came with the titanium pot. I've got a cloth just for cleaning things up, a couple of lighters, then I put in here my Life Venture mug. I have got one of the, what's it called? X mug things from Sea to Summit, but it's a little bit wider. This fits perfectly on top of the titanium pot, so I've gone for that one. Then everything else is packed in the pot. So I've got the lid, then I put a carrier bag inside it just to stop things rattling around. I've got my BRS titanium stove in there and my gas can as well. And that's everything I need to make a drink or boil up some water for a meal. The meal I've got is a Decathlon pasta bolognese. Yeah, it's really small, really lightweight. I think it weighs 440 grams in total. So that titanium pot that I'm using in the cook set came with a cool little folding spork, and guess who forgot to pack it in the kit? So I've fashioned a dehydrated meal stirration device. Might look a bit like a tent peg, but it's not. It's specifically made for stirring meals, so I'll be using that. So this says 280 ml, stir it and then leave it for 8 minutes. This is a 550 ml Lixada pot. There's no measuring indicators on the inside, so just fill it halfway. Right, that's boiled. I have noticed as well that inside the bag, you won't see it on camera, there's lines to show you where to fill to. So it doesn't really matter that there's no measurement lines on the titanium mug. I noticed as well there's another rip seam halfway down, so if you haven't got a long handled spork you can still get into this easily. You can cut them with a knife anyway, but it's nice to have that option. Just started hailing outside, so I've shut the tent door for a bit and come in. It's only little tiny bits. Should pass. So I'm going to get this meal down me, sit and listen to the hail and snow and rain for a bit. So yeah, that was well nice. I've probably got sauce all around my mouth, but I started out with a tent peg with best intentions and just ended up tipping it into my mouth. It did the job. I've had a couple of those pasta bolognese meals before, and that was definitely the tastiest. There was loads of meat in it as well, so if you ever buy anything from Decathlon or you're in Decathlon stores, I definitely recommend grabbing one of those and giving it a try. So what about this for a widowmaker? It's a dead tree here, and as you follow it up, it's snapped halfway up. That bit there is a big crack, and then it's tried to fall over, but it's propped itself up against that tree there. So yeah, that's going to come down at some point. Hopefully not on somebody's head. So that's me all fed and watered. Temperature's really dropping now, so I've put my thicker coat on and my gloves. I'll put my hat on in a minute, but I'm just going to chill now. I've got a couple of films on my phone that I'm going to watch, chill out for a bit, and then I'll catch you in the morning. Morning campers. So that's me done. I woke up at just after 5 o'clock this morning, fell asleep around 8. I woke up just a couple of times, a little bit cold. I didn't feel any cold through the floor, but my knees and feet were starting to get cold. So my missus bought me a rechargeable hand warmer thing for Christmas. So I just turned that on, threw it down to the bottom of my sleeping bag, and then I was fine for the rest of the night. So the sleep mat paired with the foil mat were fine. I never felt the cold through the floor at all. Quite comfortable as well. It did slip around a little bit on top of the foil mat, so I might need to find some silicone dots or something like that to stop it moving around. The tent, the Lanshan 1 Pro, I won't use that again in this sort of weather, in this environment, because the condensation was just on another level. Every time you move, there was raindrops coming from the roof. I'll save that for the warmer and drier months. What else was there? So the rucksack, I'll carry on testing that and keep you guys up to date with how I get on with it. I didn't miss having a pillow because the sleep mat's got a raised bit in it, and I didn't need the table either. That's more of a luxury that I will take on most camps, but if I really want to strip it back, I'll leave that at home. And like I said, £500 is a lot of money, so I'm heading out in a couple of weeks on a camp with a full setup that costs just £150. So look out for that, subscribe if you can be bothered, and I'll see you in the next one.